So, what are you doing for this week for your bad movie review, Corey?
Oh, well, this week we are going to review Popeye.
Popeye? They made a movie about Popeye? You serious?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, Popeye's like one of my favorite characters growing up. I know he was from the 40s or before, but I love that character.
Get this, he even starred Robin Williams.
Are you shitting me? He's hilarious.
I
Oh,
know.
this got to be an amazing movie. I gotta tell something. Magic Cat, did you know there was a Popeye movie?
You know what you're doing, right?
Oh.
Yeah!
Put it in the box! Put it in the box! Put something heavy on it.
Incredible Hulk will protect us.
Works for Hulk. Remind me not to do that again.
Yeah, let's not.
Keep the
What's up, guys? This is Corey.
This is Alan.
And welcome to CNA Films and Animation. Well, today we are reviewing
Popeye.
Yes, the 1980 comedy, if you can call it, musical, I guess. Film starring Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall. Yes, Shelley Duvall.
And it was directed by Robert Altman.
Yes, the guy who made MASH, the 1970 film that was nominated for Best Picture, and Gosford Park, which was also nominated for Best Picture.
Wow, this film seems to have everything going for it.
I know, right?
And then just fails miserably.
But how does that quite happen? I mean, you've got so much good potential going here, and then it just squanders. So, tell us what the plot is, Alan.
Well, that is an issue with this film. The main plot is Popeye is looking for his long-lost father. So he comes to the town of Sweet Haven. He comes to the town of Sweet Haven because he has a hunch that his father will be here. And
His old pap.
Yep. And there he meets the strange people of Sweet Haven.
Mm-hmm. Including Wimpy.
Olive Oil.
Yeah.
Bluto.
A bunch of other random people that
Are never named.
Yeah. They're named in the cartoons, or
Yes.
at least we think we are.
They're named in the cartoons and even in the credits. They give them names, but they're never told. And once there, he kind of falls for Olive Oil, adopts a baby.
And fights an octopus.
Yeah,
All in the name of entertainment.
pretty much. It loses its focus halfway through, and it just seems to be drawing at straws to find something.
Yeah. So let's start with the acting. What did you think of the acting?
I think Robin Williams he may have overacted the role. I can see people saying he overacted it. But it's Popeye. I couldn't think of anybody else doing it. Anybody would have a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams, I thought, did pretty good for it. Popeye does a lot of mumbling. His mumbling was good. His voice was all right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
One thing that I felt was, you say that you thought he did a decent job for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I felt that he was a little miscast, actually.
I can understand it, but who else do you want to have to do this role, really?
That's a tough thing to say. I mean, it's just one of those things where he did a decent job with what he was given.
Yes.
It's just I had a hard time seeing him as Popeye.
I can see it. Yes, you see Robin Williams, and you're like, okay.
And there's some other things thrown in there that just kind of
Yes.
make it difficult for me to actually see him as Popeye. But we'll get to that in a little bit. What'd you think of Shelley Duvall as Olive Oil?
I think they got the look of Olive Oil pretty good. But her acting in it was iffy at best, and her scene is
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yes. So, overall, I mean, I guess everyone did the best they could with the material that they were given. I think this film's main weakness is its direction.
Yeah.
And that's sad to say, considering that, Robert Altman is a great director. I mean, it's just, I don't think he knew what to do with the source material.
Yes. It seemed to be trying to introduce the audience to Popeye and to all these characters. Like they never met. It was Popeye just rose up to this little hamlet of a village, port village, which is not really Popeye. He's a member of the Navy. When you saw him on leave, or it's always in a town or a city of some sort, and this just seems it's just a little rundown port. So it's like, okay, this is a little odd. All right. All the other characters are supposed to be established in this town already.
I kind of want to talk about the costuming, makeup. There were some things that I noticed, and I know you noticed as well, that some of the hairstyles of people were interesting choices. Popeye specifically, in the cartoons, he was always bald.
Bald, or he has just a tiny bit of hair that's pretty much the same color as his skin.
Yeah.
Which he'd be like, what's going on here? But in this one, they have him with bright red hair.
Almost blondish, yeah.
It's supposed to be red, from what I can tell, but yeah, reddish blonde. It's like, okay.
And a lot of the times he's without his hat.
Yes, which you hardly ever would see
in the cartoons.
Yeah. One thing I thought was weird, a lot of the characters weren't wearing actual shoes. They were wearing these felt wool fake shoes that are supposed to look like boots.
Yeah.
At one point, it looks like Popeye has bags on his feet.
Okay.
I don't know. It was supposed to be boots. I think it's supposed to be like sea boots of some sort, but they look like bags. It's just a weird choice.
Let's see. Well, what were some of the positives in this?
Positives. I think I put some of the slapstick maybe in a positive or towards a positive. Popeye's famous for its slapstick. All the little shenanigans that were in it, and they did that fairly well. I thought it wasn't the greatest, but it was definitely not the worst.
Yes. I felt that it did work for it. There was a few times that I did laugh, and they were genuine laughs. Especially there's a scene where Popeye is looking into a picture frame, and he's like talking about his old pap and everything. And, he's having like a memory and all this, and then it reveals that just in the picture frame it says old pap. You don't have a picture or nothing.
It says me dad.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end, we meet his father, and they establish him as a crusty old geezer, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then we discover he actually really liked his son, and he has a picture frame that says, "Ah, me son."
Yeah.
That's all. It was funny. I've never seen it anywhere else, but I don't think anybody else can pull it off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that moment there was funny. I want to talk about some of the... Well, actually, what were some other positives that you could think of? We talked about the slapstick and some of the jokes, how they worked.
Yeah, okay. For, let's see. The main characters, I guess. Popeye, Olive Oil, Wimpy, Bluto.
Uh-huh.
They generally got the actors to look like him.
Yeah.
The costuming was fair.
Uh-huh.
They look like the characters as close as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the extremes of the cartoon comics, but they're trying to make it somewhat real life.
Yeah.
So I thought that was all right.
Yeah, I agree. I thought they did a pretty good job with that. Let's see. Are there any other positives that you could think of?
There's a scene towards the end with an octopus. The octopus looks kind of bad, but whenever they show its tentacles out of the water,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look as bad as what you would figure it would be, seeing this is from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They actually generally look good.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot else is really all that great.
Yeah. So let's tackle the negatives, and boy, is there a lot. Let's start off with the singing. Now, this film was unnecessarily a musical.
Yeah. I don't know where it came up with that. From watching shows, there wasn't all that much singing. Usually, Olive Oil would sing some jittery song. It'd be a short, just she's doing whatever she's doing and
Mm-hmm.
kind of singing along, and then it would end. Popeye always finishes with his tune, I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eat me spinach, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Yeah, it worked. That's how it ended it.
This movie, however, it decided to throw in just random music numbers throughout.
Yeah, and they're pretty bad.
Yeah. A lot of the people, I won't say all, but a lot of the people in this that do sing are not that good.
Yeah.
But the worst goes to Shelley Duvall. Wow. And I'm sure this was intentional, but it was like nails to a chalkboard bad for me.
It was pretty bad. The character from cartoons did have kind of a chirpy, I guess, voice on it, but yeah, she takes a cake. Big time.
She sings it about 2 or 3 times, and each time it was just horrid. But anyway, the singing I felt was just not the greatest in the world. It was, like I said, unnecessary, but it just wasn't that great.
Yeah.
They took a lot of artistic liberties with some things. For example, spoiler alert, I guess, Popeye apparently doesn't like spinach. Hates the stuff.
Yeah, that was what? This is Popeye. He made spinach his thing.
Yeah.
Popeye brand spinach. You think of Popeye, you think of spinach.
I think of Popeye spinach.
Yeah. And then he hates the stuff. He doesn't. It's not even mentioned until 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah.
Except at the beginning, and it's just this guy selling carrots.
Mm-hmm.
And Popeye wants carrots. when the guy's like, well, I'll sell you spinach. And he's like, no, I want carrots. And this whole thing, and then it's not mentioned again until the end.
And turns out that he hates the stuff, and
Yep.
he's force-fed the spinach by Bluto.
Yes, and it looks like crap.
Yeah.
Spinach usually it's green and stringy in the can
Yeah.
a lot. I wish they kind of went with the cartoonish style on it.
Mm.
Just big, like kind of leafy.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, and it comes out of the can looking like crap.
Yeah.
It just kind of spills all over his face, and it still look even like the next scene after he's eaten it looks like crap. It is terrible.
2 sailors, 1 can.
Oh God.
I win!
This is one of my favorite characters, you jerk.
Ah! Okay. Why'd you have to break my neck?
Why did you have to mention that?
Yes. Welcome to CNA Films and Animation, where we have some off-color humor and, yeah. But anyway,
Let's see. They introduce in this film Sweet Pea.
uh-huh. Cute enough kid who plays him, but it's really unnecessary.
It's for the plot. It's necessary, but why? They just introduce the character. They just boom. Here it is. Let's see.
It turns out that Sweet Pea can predict the future of gambling, or like
He can predict short-term future. It makes no sense.
and so Wimpy takes him to the horse track.
Which is the dumbest thing ever. It's on a boat. It's not actual horses. They have these little fake horses, and they turn a crank and they scoot down a line. That'd be the easiest thing to fix
Yeah.
ever.
I think it was fixed because it seemed like number 6 won every time.
Well, whatever one they bet on kept winning. So, yeah.
But yeah, let's see, we mentioned that one of the positives was some of the slapstick, some of the humor. I would also say that this is also a weak point of the film. Because not a lot of the jokes, not a lot of the slapstick works.
Yes.
And, I know I'm just kind of, saying, well, this is a positive, but it's also a negative type thing.
It's on the fence, really.
It just kind of, you can look at it either way. Some of the stuff did really work, and it pays off well. For instance, the picture frame thing that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But some other stuff was just, hard to watch.
Yes, there's this whole, there's several scenes where, like, Popeye gets hit and he spins.
Yeah.
And,
Breaks up, or spins a hole through the
yes,
floor.
it's supposed to be going so fast, it goes through it. In a cartoon, that would have been amazing. It would have been funny. Done, real fast. This one is just, woo, and there's a hole.
Yeah.
It's sillier than it should be. It makes no sense. The whole town doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Bluto runs it, and he's making people pay money. There's, and apparently nobody can stop him. It's never really introduced. And then it's like, then it decides at the 3/4 mark that, Bluto is not in charge. It's this other guy, which is Popeye's father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this film doesn't have a lot of direction to it. It goes from one thing to another, and it just doesn't really work out.
No.
It was rather unenjoyable. I know that I review bad movies and stuff, but I always go into a bad movie, or at least a movie that I hear is bad, hoping that this could potentially be entertaining, enjoyable, something. And of the films that I've reviewed so far, this one had the most potential to be good.
Huh. A little trivia, the baby that played Sweet Pea was the grandson of the director.
Makes sense. And this was his only film, too. But, this one had the most potential, and it's kind of thrown away. Do you have anything else to add?
This is a pretty bad movie. It made quite a bit at the box office. I'm surprised it didn't get a sequel of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. Let's see. I guess we can get into the look of Popeye. We said character design was generally all right.
Okay. Yeah.
His arms. I know he's supposed to had biceps and it's bulgy on his upper arms, but the way they did it made his arms look too short.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how exactly you're going to compensate for that. Oh well.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you...
No, I don't.
So what would you give this film?
This is a tough one. It did make me laugh a few times, and this is a comedy. And, the acting in it isn't terrible. The look of it isn't terrible. But everything else is pretty bad and unenjoyable. So, I'm going to have to go with 2.8 out of 10.
Yeah, This movie is hard to watch, especially if you're a big fan of Popeye.
Or even Robin Williams.
Yes, Robin Williams. He tries to. He's as I said, almost overacting this part. It's hard to watch at some points. How bad it is. It's like really just did that. The plot is everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Yeah.
It can't follow a straight path. The jokes are hit and miss. Singing's terrible. I'd have to give this film a 2.4. It's bad.
Yeah, so tell me guys, have you seen Popeye? If you have, what'd you think of it? I know that there's a strong fan base with this film. I know that a lot of people do like this movie, actually. On IMDb it has a 4.9 out of 10, which in my mind is a little too high, but, I want to hear your guys' perspective. If you like this movie, tell us what you like about it. What are some things that... I don't want to repeat myself there. Just share your thoughts. Love to hear it. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
Be sure to follow our other videos.
I'm Alan.
I'm Corey.
See you guys in the next one.
See you later.